So I'll try to keep this review short, but that might be kind of hard. This is the first film that I saw when I got back to the States. I was over in Japan and Singapore. I didn't get to see this in 70 millimeter, which was very unfortunate. I really wanted to see it in that format. They made a really big deal about that. But of course, this is Quentin Tarantino's new film, and a Western. I love Westerns. I love Quentin Tarantino. So really high expectations for this. And that's the case with, all Tarantino films. You expect them to be great because he's a great writer, great director. So, he has very high standards for himself, and I think everybody holds him to a very high standard. So this one, going into it, I was, somewhat skeptical just from the outset of what the premise was, because his last movie was Django Unchained, and it was a Western set around slavery. And then he does another Western, right afterwards, which kind of worried me that it'd be too similar. But the premise was different. To think of it, it's very much like a mashup of Django Unchained and Reservoir Dogs, his first film. And those are two good movies that combine together. It's just, would he be able to pull that off? Because the majority of this film just takes place in one area, this one isolated kind of cabin, haberdashery. So yeah, the whole story revolves around Kurt Russell, great actor. He plays John Ruth, the hangman, and he's gonna take this lady, Daisy, to hang. And on the way to whatever town they're going to, they're under a blizzard, so they have to hole up in this little cabin with a bunch of other people. Samuel Jackson's there, plays another bounty hunter, and then there's about 5-6 other people in this cabin. And John Root, the hangman, he's pretty sure that one or two of these people in this cabin are not who they say they are. So the whole thing, like I said, is kind of like Reservoir Dogs. It's kind of like a whodunit, trying to parse each other out, figure out what's going on. And that's the basis of the whole story. So it looks great. Like I said, I wish I would have seen a 70 millimeter. I think that would have been really cool to see it in that format, that wide format. But, and I don't know if people are going to, hate me for this, but like I said, Quentin Tarantino, I have very high standards for him. I think everybody does. They expect him to they expect him to make great movies. And this one was just, I don't know, it was okay. I did find myself getting a little bit bored at points. I just felt like there wasn't enough going on. It didn't have the dialogue like Reservoir Dogs. That movie just kept your attention the whole time. You're so intrigued. And this should have had that same kind of premise going, because of how interesting it is, how interesting these characters could be. I think maybe they needed to be a little more eccentric than they are. You have Kurt Russell rocking this crazy facial hair, and Samuel Jackson, this bounty hunter, and all these other characters. There's a guy that's supposed to be a sheriff, maybe an old Confederate general, in there with Samuel Jackson's character. And there's a lot of tension between there, and there are good scenes, but I don't know, I guess maybe if these people were even a little more extreme, it would have been better, a little more interesting. And I don't know, this is not like a big spoiler, a little bit of spoiler, kind of, but Channing Tatum is in the movie. His name comes up right away in the credits, so it's not that big of a secret. And I just, I don't know, I've given him the benefit of the doubt for a long time. I just don't like him as an actor. I don't think in my opinion, he's not a good actor. The only thing I've really liked him in is 21 Jump Street. He was funny in that. But, outside of, I guess, comedies and current period movies, I just don't, he's not good in period pieces. And this is, late 1800s, mid 1800s. Just doesn't work. I don't think he's a very good actor. They probably should have had somebody else in his role. But that being said, let's say I'm going to give it giving it a 3.75 out of 5. So not super low, not super high. But all that being said, I do think I want to see it again, definitely. With his last movie, Django Unchained, that kind of grew on me as the more I watched it a little bit. But that also had some brilliant performances, I think, in that. And I just didn't get that out of this. I'd heard other people's reviews, saying this isn't his best script, which I agree with. So it's unfortunate, but you come in to movies a lot of times with expectations. With a Tarantino film, it has really high expectations. So I don't think it met it. It did get nominated for a couple Oscars, three of them. Jennifer Jason Leigh for supporting actress. Robert Richardson, cinematography. He's really great. He's been working with Tarantino for last couple films. He's been nominated for multiple Oscars. It does look great. The film looks awesome. So that's a much deserved cinematographer nomination. And then Ennio Morricone did the score, which, I was hoping that would be really great too, the score, because you have this great director with Tarantino and this ultra iconic Italian, musician making scores. He did all of the Man with No Name trilogy, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, all those movies with Clint Eastwood, and he worked with Carpenter before with like The Thing, and he has such a distinct style. It's really good. I thought that'd be awesome, but I guess I heard that some of the music was just kind of repurposed. It was meant for something else. So that's too bad. But definitely pretty good score, I think. So yeah, like I said, want to watch it again. I think everybody probably is gonna see it. It's Tarantino. Right now, not one of my favorites of his, but like I said, when all of his movies are like between a 4 and a 5 out of 5, they're all up there pretty much. It's hard to get into the top of that pack. So 3.75 out of 5. All right.